9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Manchester
1,
United have
0.
reached the promised land.
How are we doing, everybody? Sam here. I'm live. It's Monday morning. How was your weekend? Mine was pretty average, as you can hear. Obviously, had a big Saturday night. It's what I'll go and do to drown the sorrows after what we saw against Middlesbrough. You saw my match reaction. Genuinely, penalties scared the crap out of me now. Seeing Manchester United in a penalty shootout. And it was a game that had a lot of frustration. But this morning, as you saw from my video that I did on Saturday, I did what I felt was an extremely important video to do, because we could really have spoken about everything that happened in the game. We could speak about the chances that we missed, but it would really, let's be honest, be sort of ignoring what the real big problems are, right? So that's what we're going to speak about this morning in detail in this live and interactive show. I'm going to speak about what I consider to be a fight between, not a physical punch-up, but a metaphorical fight between Ralf Rangnick and the Glazers. And that's what I'm going to speak about this morning. What do you reckon about the new... We got Nemanja up now because we need a bit of fight in us. And I'll tell you what, there wasn't many better than him. We got the Eric shirt, the older green and gold. Good morning to all of you. How are you? Who's down in the comments? Have a look. We've got Anthony. We've got Mick Rogers watching on Facebook. Or you're here as well. Shushant, I can see you. Matt Frost, how you doing, buddy? T, plenty of you joining in this morning. This will be, as always, an interactive show. And you know by now, I've started a new part of the show. At the end of the show, I'll give you the chance to come on screen with me. I'll leave a link in the description at some point. But if I can sort of reiterate the video that I did on Saturday, just in a little short form, I said that it's quite obvious now what's happening at Manchester United. And Ralf Rangnick is unfortunately being undermined by every single part of the club. He's got players like Jesse Lingard and Anthony Martial who publicly undermined him, right? And then you've got John Murtough now, who, as it's transpired, had a conversation with Jesse Lingard. And this is kind of what I always felt. I never felt that Ralf Rangnick was lying about what he was saying when it comes to Jesse Lingard. I didn't see any benefit. I didn't see how he gained anything from lying about Jesse Lingard. And at the same time, you can understand a reason why Lingard might lie and try and persuade opinion back. But I don't think either of them have been lying in this situation. It's just that John Murtough has come in the middle, and because his communication is poor, he hasn't told Ralf what he's been speaking about with Jesse Lingard. So Jesse's not really done anything wrong in that respect, but he has done wrong in coming out and speaking and undermining Ralf's position as manager and forcing Ralf to come out and defend himself. That's what I did in my video, right? If you haven't watched it, genuinely, I would encourage you. It's just a 10-minute, I suppose it's as close as you're going to get to a rant from me. And Ralf, and this is the thing, right? This is the thing why I'm really going to properly, I suppose, double down on this situation and really, really come out supporting and swinging for Ralf Rangnick, because for me, he is the first genuine, and I mean that genuine opportunity that we have of proper change at Manchester United. I think if you look at everything that's happened post-Fergie with David Moyes, with Louis van Gaal, with Jose Mourinho, and with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, all of them were in a situation at a club which was not geared towards them being successful. They were always fighting against, swimming upstream. It's basically what every manager has done post-Fergie. Even Fergie was swimming upstream, but he was just the master of it. Now, Ralf is doing the same thing again now. But because Ralf is going into that consultancy role, it's the consultancy role that changes everything. It's not the fact that Ralf is going to be here for 6 months as manager, because let's be completely honest, he's not going to be able to create any sort of sustained and major change in that time. The difference here with Ralf Rangnick is that he's going upstairs into that consultancy role. And he's going to be the first man that we can all say we trust, who is in a position of power at Manchester United, that we know. And this is genuinely, right? This is madness, but I think this is the truth. I've probably got more trust in Ralf Rangnick having Manchester United's best interests at heart than I do for any other person of power at Manchester United. maybe Darren Fletcher aside, John Murto, Richard Arnold, Joel Glazer, Avram Glazer, anybody else who's on that board, I think they've got a lot of self-interest. And with the John Murto situation, right? I think he's probably, and you mentioned it before, quite a few of you have mentioned it before. He's in a position where he knows he's about to get a power struggle. And that's what it is. We're looking at a power struggle here, a power vacuum, I called it, at Manchester United. And I compared it to sort of when political leaders are ousted. And then all of a sudden, there's this huge power struggle whilst everybody tries to get the main seat. And that's what's been happening at United since Fergie left. This power vacuum disappeared because of Fergie, and everyone else has just been bit by bit pulling the power away. The players have gained so much of that power. The Glazers have taken so much of that power. Woodward himself took the majority of that power, but he's now left. And this is the first opportunity we've got for a genuine restructure. And that's why I'm excited about what Ralf can do when he goes upstairs, but I'm also scared about it. I'm also scared because I'll be honest, what we're seeing right now, if this is a hint about what's going to come next, it's not good. I'm going to head down to the comments here and see what you're all saying. Got Sean Wright saying, why the Germany top? Why not? I bought it. I like replica kits. I don't really want to wear United kits. I think they look a bit weird because I'm not a child. But in support of Ralf, bought the old Germany kit out. Why not? Let's have a look. Tao or Reed? I bet you Ralf is gone by the summer. The Glazers won't want all of his doing. I don't think that will be the case. And I hope it's not the case, because if Ralf goes, man, we're stuck. We're stuck where we are. Nothing is going to... Ralf is the only real, genuine opportunity I believe we've had of proper change at Manchester United since Fergie went. That's what I think anyway. Let's have a look. Sam, you're saying... Not me. They said the Glazers are looking for another yes man. One of the reasons why we didn't go for Conte. And honestly, if anybody thinks that Conte would have been a good idea for Manchester United, I swear on my life. Really? Really? You genuinely think that Conte would have been good? He would have come and just tore it all up. And yet it might have worked when Conte was there. When he wasn't there, what happens? All the destructions left behind. We've seen that damage with Mourinho. And I'm not saying Conte would be a Mourinho part 2, but it's not what our club needed. Because you might be like the Ed Woodward desperation that we have to win a Premier League title next season or it's failure. Whereas in reality, we're not one season. I mean, I thought we were one player away from competing for the Premier League. Geez, the way we're looking at the moment, I think we're a little bit further away than that. Tim, you're saying Ralf is a patsy. Just so happens he turned out a decent manager. I don't know what that means. Rangnick would end up walking, says Carl. Let me know what you think about that in the comments, ladies and gents. What do you think about what will happen with Ralf? I fear for him. I fear for his ability to actually instigate chat. I don't think he'll walk away, though. Why would he have left his position at Lokomotiv Moscow, very stable position, had the people there that he wanted to be working there? He was fine with that. He had a project in hand. He's left all of that to stay at Manchester United and to try and instigate massive, major change. Let me see what you're saying. Limmy, you're saying Ralf needs to stay. You can see he wants to stay and fix the problems we have. And look, you want to know, and this is what I mean here about what Ralf needs to do. I'll head on to that in a second, actually. A few more comments coming in. Matt, you're saying Ralf's going to struggle hard. Takeoff, you're saying he's going to stay. And or you're saying Ralf will walk if he doesn't get the support. I suppose it's all about how much power he's given. And it also it massively depends on the definition of that role. Right now, it's extremely broad. He's going to go into a consultancy role. What does that mean? Who's he consulting for? What level is he going to go in? Is he going to work underneath John Murto? I don't think he should or would. I think he should work above John Murto. He should be at the top of the football tree inside the football side of Manchester United as a business. That's what his consultancy role should be. Let's have a look down here. What else he's saying? Shalex, you're saying until the football part is totally separated from the business, will be a chaos club for as long as the Glazers are in control. Rangnick must stay. And look, you know what I'm saying here about, as I said, he's swimming upstream, Ralf Rangnick. He's running into the wind. And the fact that he's had to do this goes and shows this, right? This came out over the weekend. Ralf Rangnick has recruited Raphael Hernigstein as a personal media advisor until the end of the season. London-based Hernigstein has taken a 6-month sabbatical from his main employer, The Athletic, to provide advice and briefing notes to Rangnick, who will continue to work for Sky Germany, not United games. Rangnick brought in Hernigstein. Jesus Christ, Sam. Rangnick brought in Hernigstein, that's hard to say, due to the volume of media interest in his appointment and the fact he negotiated his move to United without an agent, meaning he has lacked external advice. Now, the mere fact, right, that this has happened is a perfect example of this fight that Ralf has on his hands. Because Ralf, in the last, 3-4 weeks, he's had 2 separate occasions with Anthony Martial and with Jesse Lingard, where 2 players have undermined him publicly, have gone against the manager's word, have effectively pointed the finger at the manager and said, no, you're lying. And he hasn't been lying in either occasion. It's been bad communication. But this is a man who, look, the fact that he's done this is Ralf is clearly, he's seen it's not working. He goes, right, we've got a problem. How do we fix it? How about we get someone like Raphael Hurt? Or they should have got Guido Schaefer in. Guido. Maybe it probably wouldn't have worked with Guido, but it would have been good fun. But the mere fact that he's had to get Raphael Hernigstein in, that shows that he's fighting. That shows that he can see the problems and he's trying to bring solutions. I'm happy about that. I think it's a smart move. I think, look, if he needs some external, because they're going down there, apparently he's just been a little bit overwhelmed in terms of how much he has to do in terms of the media duties. That's fine. You can admit what you're struggling with and bring someone in to help sort it. And I'm happy about that. Let me go down here and see what you're saying. Liam, you're saying that it's happened 2 times now. There's no way Ralf is lying. It's the club. It's, as I said in the video that I did, explain that. It's not a case of lying. It's a case of broken lines of communication. It's a case of John Murtough stepping in where he shouldn't have stepped in. And if he did step in there, he has to at least communicate that to Ralf. By not doing that, he swept Ralf's feet away from him, probably twice. John, you're saying Rangnick has been brought in as an investment with connections in Germany. I don't know what you're getting on with that. I'll be honest there, mate. Matt, what are you saying there, Matt? I would love for Rangnick to stay, but I don't think he will with the Glazers being owners. Tell you what, people, you need to look at your spelling mistakes in the comments. All of you. Crazy. It's because you type too fast. Don't worry about it. I think I'm just, I don't know. I did that video on Saturday morning after the Middlesbrough game. As I said, like we could have had a whole conversation about the football. 30 chances, so many opportunities, great for 60 minutes, terrible for 60 minutes. There's so many conversations we could have had from that game, but it just all feels a bit null and a bit void and a bit pointless, really, because that's not where the focus needs to be. The focus needs to be on making it as easy as possible for Rangnick to be successful between now and the end of the season. And I'm telling you that success is not trophies. I mean, winning the Champions League, that would be great. That would be a huge overachievement as far as we're all concerned, looking at this Manchester United team right now. Success for Ralf Rangnick is getting the club in a strong and a stable position behind the scenes with things and processes working properly so that hopefully when Erik ten Hag comes in the summer, he'll have the conditions for success. And then we can talk about the Premier League. Then we can talk about the Champions League. But trust me, if we win the Champions League this year, it's huge, huge overachievement. And that's not the measure of success, I don't think, for Ralf this year. Morris, you're saying Ralf has already divided the squad, so he has a huge task on that. That squad needs to be divided, bro. That squad is united against United, really. Has been. I praised Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's cultural rebuild at Manchester United, and the comparison I always made between Jose Mourinho and that hard seed mentality sort of dictator type person, and then Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with the arm around the shoulder. I think both of them were at the two extreme ends of what they were trying to do. Solskjaer was too soft and Mourinho was too hard, and neither of them really ultimately worked. Neither of them had the balance that was there, and that's where Ralf is the balance man. From a man management perspective, his door is always open. He's always said that you can knock on his door and come through. But he's a man who demands respect, a man who has experience and also has dealt with modernizing football clubs. And that's what United are. United are a club that has failed to modernize with everything that's happened. The huge surge in player power, Manchester United hasn't modernized with that. That's why players have taken so much more control at United than they have at the likes of City or Liverpool, where the structures are in place and things run a bit more smoothly. But I don't know. I don't really know what. As I said, I wish I could be talking about the fact that we're playing Burnley tomorrow. You know, we'll speak about but you can't. You really can't. You can, and I probably will, because I'll do a predicted 11 for the Burnley game later. But it just seems also irrelevant in the context of what Manchester United need to do to really get back to who we are, man. Because we're still lost. We're still, Ralf, you know, if you're looking at the first 10 games of Ralf and you compare the first game against Palace to the 10th game against West Ham, you saw the improvement. You could see that the bit by bit, the improvement that was happening with the football. And the first 60 against Middlesbrough was fantastic. But again, because of that, we just have to park the whole conversation and just speak about the Glazers, speak about Rangnick. The fact that this culture, you want to talk about culture at Manchester United, this culture of narcissism, this culture of self-interest that exists and dominates Manchester United's staff, dominates Manchester United's boards. No one's truly, really got the club's best interests at heart, even if they say they do. And I fear that Richard Arnold will probably be a similar sort of person to Ed Woodward in that respect. And that's why Ralf is so important. Ralf really is the archangel that was sitting on top of the tree over there at Christmas. And he's a man, as I said, I trust Ralf and the fact that he has Manchester United's best interests at heart, more so than so many other people who have been in this club for a much longer time. And obviously the Glazers. And we know the Glazers, and we know who they are, and we know how bad they are for Manchester United. But realistically, they're not going to be going anywhere. It doesn't really matter what any of us. I mean, I hate to say that, really, but it's the ultimate truth. I think we all know they won't leave Manchester United until someone comes in with a super ridiculous offer, and they just cash out. The only thing that's going to make the Glazers leave Manchester United is making more money. Simple as that. Let's go down here and see what you're saying. Gary's saying even at the moment, even a win just seems like it's papering over the cracks. That's what I mean. Like beating Middlesbrough there, if we had scored 2 or 3 goals and we won 3-1, it would have been great. No one really would have been speaking about this. We would have been speaking about the Burnley game, speaking about the continued progress, and we could just focus on the football. Because when the football's going right at United, it's almost a distraction. Imagine that. The football is almost a distraction from the chaos that continues behind the scenes. And as soon as losses come and as soon as frustrations come on the pitch, the conversation diverts back to having these conversations. It's because it's always there. It's always there just waiting to be the main talking point. And it's only when United win that we get distracted by it. And as soon as we don't, and it's not as if we're throwing the toys out the pram, it's just that that's when the conversations are more prevalent. Not saying they're more important at that point, but they certainly are more prevalent. But just that, yeah, going back to what I'm saying there, the fact that he's had to bring in a media advisor goes to show that Ralf feels, I've been making some mistakes so far. I don't want to be undermined by my players in public anymore. Maybe there's something I'm doing wrong. Maybe there's something that happens inside the English league, that the subtleties of what you say and what you don't say. And maybe that's why he's brought Rangnick in. But mate, if I'm completely honest, I love this honesty from Ralf Rangnick. It's not rude honesty. It's not throwing people under the bus honesty. It's like, why would I give Jesse Lingard 4 to 5 days off when I was literally 1 attacker short on my bench? It makes no sense. Why would I do that? And that sort of honesty, you're like, yeah, why would you do that? And I kind of don't want him to stop that. I kind of feel like he might be stopping that because Rangnick's coming in and he's going to be like, right, this is how you play the game. Because it is a game. The media-trained footballers of today, they know what to say and they know what not to say. And unfortunately, I think Ralf might sort of fall into that trap a little bit now. A little bit of shame. I'm going to go down to the comments here and see what you're saying. James, you're saying, unfortunately, our club is an absolute shit show right now, and it's hard to see that change easily. It is hard to see that change, my friend. But Ralf, I'm so sure that Ralf is the man that can really genuinely, if we're talking about a fight against the Glazers, Ralf Rangnick is the single greatest opportunity that we have as a fan base. And we've got to make sure that fans support him, that we speak about things that we look, hell, if we are influencers and these sort of videos do get seen by someone, then we've got to have the right conversations. We've got to be pushing the right tone and pushing the right talking points. Okay. It's not just about talking about Cristiano Ronaldo struggling in the team. What about Bruno Fernandes? That's part of the narrative, but it's about this change that hopefully is going to come. And I feel more confident that it's possible now than I have done really under Solskjaer, under Mourinho, under Van Gaal for a long time. I'm more confident that change is possible now with Ralf Rangnick going ahead than I have been for a long time. But my God, the fight is ridiculous, man. It doesn't matter where Rangnick is looking. It's like when it's almost like when Jon Snow, spoiler alert, in Game of Thrones. Maybe I won't say that just in case people haven't watched Game of Thrones. But anyway, when it comes to betrayal, yeah. And it feels like that's kind of happening at Ralf Rangnick. Everywhere he's turning, he's looking for help, but he's just getting little slide digs, little 1-2s, little sucker punches when his back's turned. He's like, what are you doing that for? I'm trying to help you. That's kind of what it feels like. Ralph's just come into a club, and he must be blown away by how dysfunctional it is. I think that really must have taken him by surprise. Don Ramirez saying, come on, man, who hasn't watched Game of Thrones? You never know, man. Some people haven't watched Game of Thrones, so I'm not going to be the guy that drops the spoilers. In Ralf, we trust, but the mountain is tall. It's very prophetic there all this morning. Very prophetic indeed. But yeah, the mountain is huge. There's two of them, one on top of the other. Chalik saying, because of the Glazers, we've become a club that changes managers every 2 years. It will be difficult to get a good manager who is willing to work like this. And that, again, Chalik, is exactly why Ralf is so important, because Ralf changes that. Ralf really does change that. Ralf comes into the club and moves upstairs. And it means that whoever comes in next, hopefully Erik ten Hag, he is going to be the man who then has Ralf Rangnick as that support mechanism above him. He doesn't have to go in there and sort of like fight against everyone. He goes, no, I'm going to go to Ralf. Ralf, can you sort this out for me? I'll deal with it. I've got your best interests at heart. That's right. That's why I'm hopeful about genuine change for the first time at Manchester United in a long, long time. And Ralf is the man in the middle of all of it. And that's what's making me so angry at these fucking players coming out and undermining Lingard, man. I don't care, right? And I know this. Lingard was not lying, okay? I'm not calling Lingard a liar. But you are an absolute dick for coming out and undermining the manager like that. Because you're only doing that to protect your own self-image. And the only reason he's doing that is because John Murtough has been stupid, really, poor, and gone and spoken to Lingard without speaking to Rangnick. And then when you start saying it like that, it's like, who do you blame then? Is it John Murtough you blaming in this situation? Is it Ralf Rangnick for speaking about it in public? Or is it Jesse Lingard? Look, no one's really, truly innocent in all of this. And I've kind of said this as well, but I can't be arsed with it. I'm done. I'm done with the Paul Pogba circus. Just move on, bro. Good as he was in the first 45, 60 against Middlesbrough. Are we going to miss him? No, we'll sell him. We'll move on. Boom. Man United will survive. It's not an issue. We'll get someone else. Anthony Martial, you go to Sevilla. Bye. Toodle pip. Lingard, that's what I mean. There's no one part of this club, whether it comes to the players or the support network that Ralf Rangnick has, or the board, or the Glazers. There's not one part of that at Manchester United where you can safely go, you know what? I think we've got it there. I think we're good. We don't have to worry about that. I think it's good. There's not one part of Manchester United that has that. And that's the sort of the structure that Ralf is trying to be successful in. Jibak, how you saying? How you doing, buddy? Nice to see you. And thank you for your continued support, as always. Shaking the tree a bit. Fergie always liked the Glazers, champion Moyes, and is now suggesting Poch to the club. Do we need to move on from him? Hashtag blasphemy. Now, I don't think that Fergie's going to have too much involvement in this appointment. I spoke quite in depth to David Lyons, who's the author of that book there, the latest Fergie autobiography, not autobiography, biography. And he was basically saying that post is operation, post is brain hemorrhage and recovering from that. Fergie's just sort of, he's in the background now. He was a bit more hands-on post Mourinho with recommending Solskjaer. He's always championed Mauricio Pochettino, but the club went for Jose Mourinho. And of course, he championed David Moyes. But now, guys, don't be, you don't need to drag Fergie into this. Fergie is what Fergie is. Fergie is a separate conversation now, and no one's getting undermined by Fergie. I don't think Fergie's doing anything wrong, really. And when it comes to the decision to make our appointment this summer, whether it's Poch or whether it's Ten Hag, and in my opinion, I think it's only one of those two. Hopefully, it's made by United for United, and I don't think Fergie's going to be involved. As Brian says down there, exactly that. Let him retire in peace, man. I don't personally think that Fergie is a conversation that we need to have at any point now, apart from to celebrate what Fergie did at United. I don't think Fergie should be dragged into the problems that we currently have. I think that would be lazy by everybody to do that. Ralph won't have any real power, says Jed GJ. Maybe that is. I'll tell you what, that's one thing that I got suggested. Let me see if I can try and do that now. Somebody suggested to me that you can turn on subscribers only chat on here. How do you do that? Participants? No, can't see that. I have no idea how to do that. I'll figure out. I'll do it tomorrow. Maybe just to keep the conversation a little bit better and to make sure that all of you here as subscribers, that you can have your say. But yeah, look, right. Now that's probably the last thing I want to say on Fergie there. Don't try and drag Fergie into this, ladies and gents. Like, come on. We've got enough battles on our hands here. Let's not go for God, right? God's on our side here. The recruitment sell of United is flawed, says Himalayan Wanderer. It's not in sync with the team's needs, and those needs are not in nothing is in sync, man. It's exactly what it is. You're looking at United as some sort of puzzle here. Like 7, you know, those puzzles where you've got to put wheels in and you've got to try and put all the wheels together to eventually, it's like one of the Crystal Maze challenges. You're putting them all in, you're trying to get them fitting in the right pattern. There's only one way it works. And you're trying, it doesn't work. That's what United are doing with all these like 6 or 7 different wheels at the moment. And we're just not turning them properly. Nothing's in sync. One's turning one way while the other one's turning the other way. And it's against each other. Everything needs to be cohesive. And as I said, for me, the only man I believe that is capable of doing that truly for us is Ralf Rangnick, man. Is Ralf Rangnick. That's why I was so excited about his appointment, because I saw that possibility for true change. Because, I mean, you remember that, the announcement video? I was losing my shit. It's like I won the lottery. I didn't win the lottery. But it's a shame, isn't it? But that's why I was so excited about Ralf coming in, because I saw him as a man that could come in, not only improve us in the football side. I was excited about the idea of the 4-2-2. I was excited about what he could do and improve this squad. Yeah, from a managerial perspective, I was excited to see that. But more importantly, with Ralf, I was more excited about what I think he was going to be doing behind the scenes at Manchester United and bringing that true change. That's what I'm saying. I'll head down to the comments here. I'll read a few more comments out, and then we'll move on to the next talking point, because this is quite an important talking point. There's quite a few more important talking points this morning. Ralf can't do it alone, says Ben. He can't do it alone. He needs that support alongside him. And I do genuinely, I'm not here saying that John Murtough doesn't have the best interests of United at heart. I think he's got a bit of a concern about what his probably position and role will be when Ralf moves upstairs. I'll be honest. I think he should be, because he has not. Because clearly that part of it's not working. Clearly, with everything that's happened here with Lingard and Martial, clearly John Murtough is not doing his job properly. And communications are everything in a business, especially a business the size of Manchester United. If you don't have tight communications from the top to the bottom, you're going to get mixed messages. You're going to get Chinese whispers, and you're going to get people thinking one thing but being told another. And that's what is happening here with Manchester United, with Ralf Rangnick, with everything that happened with Lingard, with everything that happened with Martial. And no doubt there will be more of it that comes out in the future. But if you don't have those tight lines of communication from the top to bottom and the right structure, you're not going to succeed. That's the reason why City have been able to do what City have done. I can't remember the name of the guys. Chiguristan, whatever. They basically bought in Barcelona's old board that was good rather than one now. They brought in Barcelona's old board, brought in that system, and then just dropped Pep Guardiola in it. All Pep has to do is focus on the football. At Manchester United right now, Ralf Rangnick is like the manager of the football team, the coach of the football team. He's also the one. He's negotiating with the board. He's probably negotiating with John Murtough. He's trying to bring in a new media. He's got like 4 or 5 jobs on his hands right now, and they all deserve and need full attention. But he can't do that because the structure of Manchester United just isn't there to support and help him be successful. It's trying to trip him up constantly, and I just can't get my head around it. Something that's happened in the last 24 hours, which I think is quite a significant moment, which I think might well affect everything that goes on. I'm sure you've all seen it by now, and if you haven't seen it by now, this happened last night. Mark Overmars has left Ajax. This is what was said in the statement from Ajax. Overmars has made the decision after discussions in recent days. A series of inappropriate messages sent to several female colleagues over an extended period of time underlies his decision to leave the club. So this sort of took Ajax fans by surprise when the statement came out last night. Mark Overmars, considered probably the best football director that club has had, and was part of the Golden Trinity. It was Mark Overmars there as the football director. It was Edwin van der Sar as the CEO, and it was Erik ten Hag as the manager. Now, because of everything that's gone on there, obviously, I'm sure more insight into what really happened and what truly happened, but I don't want to go into that. And I don't think I need to go into that. It's just the mere fact that he's left the club. I'm looking at this from the outside perspective. That now changes things at Ajax, because that holy trinity for them, as far as I said, Van der Sar, Ten Hag, and Overmars, they worked together. They worked in unison. That's now gone. All right, Overmars has left the club, and I think it probably, helps United's pursuit of Erik ten Hag. In my opinion, I think, yeah. I think we now probably have more chance of bringing Ten. I thought that Ten Hag was going to leave anyway. The way you're looking at what he's done at that club, the way that he's managed to rebuild it after 2018-19 to get to where he is now, and they're smashing it again. I felt like he's reached that crescendo this season with Ajax. He's not going to get any more. It's just going to be another cycle of losing your best players, trying it again in 3 years, and then you reached. I don't think he can improve anymore as a coach. I think he's done everything he can do at Ajax, and I think he's going to move on. But Overmars leaving, I think, I'll be honest, it gives us more chance of bringing Ten Hag in, because now the structure at Ajax, which was so crucial, and we all know that. Look, the success of Ten Hag is not just down to Ten Hag being a good manager and a good coach. Of course, that's part of it. But the success there is massively down as well to the structure that's come behind the scenes from Overmars and Van der Sar over a long period of time, giving Ten Hag the best possible conditions to succeed. Pep getting that at City, Klopp getting that at Liverpool, Ralf isn't getting that at United, Solskjaer didn't have that at United, Mourinho didn't have that at United, Van Gaal didn't have that at United, Moyes didn't have that at United, Fergie didn't have that at United, but Fergie was a genius, and Fergie managed to navigate through it, right? But let's see what goes on. Okay, I'm sure that the Overmars story will develop over time. There's going to be more that comes out on it, and I don't want to leave a comment on it. But just the simple fact that Overmars has left Ajax, for me, gives more of an opportunity for Manchester United to go and bring Ten Hag in, and I'd be very happy about that. Gary, you're saying we need a holy trinity of Ralf, Ten Hag, and Van der Sar. Imagine that. 3 proper football men at Manchester United. That would just put like a huge smile on your face, wouldn't it? A huge smile on your face. Van der Sar, I would 100% Van der Sar will be at Manchester United at some point. I think that's an absolute given. And he's also said it as well. Remember that interview? He said, yeah, United at some point, I will, but now's not the time. I'm here enjoying myself at Ajax. I'm loving what's going on at Ajax. Maybe that changes now, because obviously Van der Sar's had his legs swept away from him by Mark Overmars there and what he's done. And it changes things at Ajax. Absolutely changes things. Adam saying Poch is the one to take United forward, not Ten Hag. Well, Adam, I think you won't be alone in that opinion. As I said before, I personally think that if Poch comes in, I think United will still improve and be a better football club. But why go out and get a Ford-focused ST if you can go out and get a Ferrari? Same price. That's the way I look at it. Ten Hag's is a better upgraded model than Poch in pretty much every way. Sir, you're not feeling positive though. You're saying 90% sure Ten Hag won't come to Manchester United. Deary. We've got Josh over here saying stop arguing in the comments, lads. We'll stop it for you. Exactly that. I'm probably going to be turning on this week. I will turn on subscriber only chat on YouTube. I'm going to be bringing in a few moderators onto the Facebook comments as well, because the comments can be a great place, right? The comments can be a place where you can have conversations, not arguments, but you can disagree with each other. Nothing wrong with that. But it's like the internet. The internet can be a horrible place as well. And the fact that Anthony Langer there was subjected to racist abuse after the penalty is like, it's fucking disgusting, man. The fact that it's like the best and the worst of the internet. The best is it gives idiots like me a platform to speak to you about football, but it also gives genuine idiots the platform to say whatever the fuck they want, and for a lot of the times without consequence. That's what I keep saying. Anybody who's talking to me about freedom of speech, you can have freedom of speech, but not freedom of with no consequence. There is no freedom of consequence, and I hope whoever's done that, I don't know what's going to happen. Just get banned and then open up another Instagram account. Fuckers. But it's disgusting, really. I just wanted to. I saw that happen. I was like, kind of want to say something on that. But yeah, let me go down to the comments here and let's see what you're all saying. I prefer Chris Wilder over Ten Hag. Scratchy's coming in with the sweet comedy this morning. Absolutely. Come on, guys. This chat is what's Lee saying. Come on, guys. This channel has an amazing community. Don't ruin an argument. Don't worry about it. There you go. Well said, everybody. Look, as I said, nothing wrong with a little debate in the comments, but let's not get into full-blown arguments. What else do I want to speak about this morning? Right. Let's speak about this, right? I've had a nice little, as I said, it really does feel like genuinely feels like a therapy session sometimes coming on these shows and just talking about United and talking about the problems that we see, talking about the problems that we have. Because, yeah, there are problems left, right, and centre, man, at Manchester United. And we all know that we want us to get back to winning the Premier League. And it's mad, isn't it? It's mad that if you rewind to the 1st of September 2021, we went into this season and we were all like, you know what? This team could challenge. I know we don't have a midfielder. I know we're like a midfielder short, but you know what? I think there's a chance that we can challenge here. And then look at us now. Jeez. My. That's been a hell of a fall, that was. But no, I don't think we're one midfielder away from challenging now. I think I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. But it feels like it's about more than just the football. I think that the dysfunction and the chaos inside Manchester United's football team is completely representative of the dysfunction and chaos that Manchester United is as a football club. And I keep saying this to you as well. Players' form, they're symptomatic of what's going on inside the team. If there's bad morale, if there's arguments that are going on with the manager, you're likely going to have bad morale and arguments in the football. I think it's all reflective of each other at Manchester United. The chaos on the pitch, and when it does work, it works great. When it doesn't work, it blows up. The chaos behind the scenes with John Murtough and Lingard, and now Rangnick having to bring in his own media advisor. Chaos. And then you've got the board, whose priority is so far away from what United's priority are. I mean, I think they've just taken out another 10 million, didn't they, in dividends payments in January? I think they did anyway. And that's what Manchester United is. It's loads of different things, all working and pulling in different directions. As I said, until you put all those cogs together and you one person starts turning it and it all syncs up, it's going to be just a constant struggle. And ultimately, we all know that's going to be there until the Glazers leave. But realistically, we know they're not leaving until someone comes in and tries to buy United for a ridiculous amount of money, because otherwise they will just continue year on year on year. Dividends. Don't care what the football team's doing. I'm still getting my dividends. Thank you very much. Pay my interest on my loan. Here's my dividends. Another year goes by. Don't really care. Get my dividends. You pay the interest. That's all it is. It's like the best bank account in the world. That's what the Glazers have at Manchester United. A guaranteed payment of like 10 million per year. You don't have to pay anything back on the loan that you bought them with. Do you really care about anything else? No, I don't really think you need to. Matt's saying, I'll tell you what, that Cantona jersey will look good on my wall. I'm sure it would look good on your wall. What do you reckon about that, by the way? So we've got Nemanja up this week and we've got Cantona over there. I was so tempted to put Rude up, but I was like, who's more representative about what United need right now? And that's why we've got Nemanja up on the wall, because we need a bit of fight in us. Everybody needs a bit of fight in us. Genuinely, it's a fight. It's a scrap. We shouldn't be having this conversation with the owners of your club. But here we are. And it's not as if we what is it, 16 years, 17 years now? Jesus, they've nearly owned United for 2 decades. Fucking hell. That's unreal. That's absolutely mad. Sanjay, Sam, do you think Real Madrid will buy Ronaldo in the summer? No, I do not think they will, sir. I don't think he's going anywhere. Why would he go anywhere near? Why would he go anywhere near Real Madrid? He has the most incredible legacy at Real Madrid. But now that you're mentioning Ronaldo, why not? I was going to bring this up now. Well, later, I'll bring it up now. Ronaldo turned 37 at the weekend. Happy birthday to you, Cristiano Ronaldo, a.k.a. the greatest goal scorer of all time. And he's got a cake there. I'll tell you what, he probably threw that cake away and just drank water, because that's what he does. And that's why he's still smashing it. Maybe a little bit over the... What's your opinion on Ronaldo? I was going to do a video on Sunday entitled, We Need to Talk About Cristiano Ronaldo. But I didn't. I decided against it, mainly because I was hungover, but secondly because, it's because I was hungover, I'll be honest. It was just going to be a conversation about Ronaldo, really, because I think it's fair that we need to have a conversation about him. No one's trying to throw him under the bus. Bro, he's our top goal scorer by some margin this season. Ronaldo is still banging in the goals left, right, and centre. But he put in a proper, absolute poopy stinker performance against Middlesbrough. We're talking like a 1 out of 10. Because with Ronaldo, I think if you look at his overall performances, I think it reminds me of Ibrahimovic. It reminds me of Zlatan. When you watch Zlatan play for United, a lot of the time you were left frustrated. You were like, what are you doing? Why? Oh, you scored. And Zlatan would just out of nowhere, he would just keep cropping up with goals. That's why you got nearly got 30 goals that season. We won the double, a double of some variety. But Cristiano Ronaldo, I think that's why the Middlesbrough game stood out for me. Because Ronaldo, it doesn't matter how frustrated you've been getting with his performances or anything he's doing right or anything he's doing wrong. He's turned up with the goals and you'd be like, well, you can't argue with the goals. It's the goals that win your football games. But against Middlesbrough, he missed a penalty. He missed a swathe of chances. And he really was a proper 1 out of 10 performance. So I want you to fire in your opinions and your comments about Cristiano Ronaldo. Because, as I said, Batman, this is not us having a blame on Ronaldo here. What I'm saying is that we need to have a conversation about Ronaldo. Because let's not be ignorant and say that there's not a conversation to be had about Ronaldo, because there is. It's just the fact that he's our top goal scorer means it's like it's like a top trump. Every single time you speak about Ronaldo, yeah, he's our top goal scorer, though. Yeah, but he's our top goal scorer. I know what you mean, but he's our top goal scorer. And he is. He's absolutely our top goal scorer. But he does play a different style to, I think, what the majority of this squad is geared towards. Pete, you're saying hands off Ronaldo. He has no service and he's lacking the confidence. That performance will motivate him to do better. Yeah, you'd probably back him here to get a score against Burnley, wouldn't you? Ronaldo's efficacy is waning, but that is symptomatic of the fact that we are not good enough to carry a luxury player like him. At City, he'll be easy on... Mate, if he was at City, do you imagine what he would be doing with the cutbacks that they would get him? With their wingers that run to the byline, get to the edge and just pull it back for Ronaldo. And 9 times out of 10, he's going to score from that situation. You're absolutely right there. And exactly what Ronaldo is a luxury player. Ronaldo is, if you look at what he did at Real Madrid as well, less so in his earlier days, but he crafted himself into one of the best number 9s that this world has ever seen. He knew his position. He didn't have to waste his energy mincing about, running about the pitch. Why do that? I'm going to stay in and around their 18-yard box. You give me the ball here. Let's talk. That's where I'll do my business. That's where I earn my money. That's where he earned his reputation. And Manchester United, as a football team, do not dominate the ball enough, do not control the ball enough for that Ronaldo to succeed. And that is Ronaldo now. That's what he's crafted himself as. It's what he tried at Juventus too. It's what he did at Juventus. And it's what he did at Real Madrid. When we sold him, he turned him. He was a winger when he left United. Still a winger, kind of moving into being a central striker. But at Real Madrid, he converted his game completely. And that Ronaldo now is definitely not getting enough service from this United team. And that's why I was excited to see Sancho on the right wing. Boom, imagine all the service he's going to give for Ronaldo. Great. We're not seeing it enough. We're seeing more crosses from Diego Dalot than we are from Jadon Sancho. Let's go down here. Michael, Ronaldo is just so hungry to get goals for himself to help his stats, but he needs to play more as a team player. See, that's where I disagree. Ronaldo, I don't want a 37-year-old Ronaldo to fucking run after the ball like he's some young whippersnapper. I want him to goal hang. Mate, it's the greatest goal. He scored 800 and how many goals? I don't know how many goals. Over 800 career goals. But he doesn't need to prove himself. But United do need to gear their football towards him if we are going to get the most out of him. And I don't think we're necessarily doing that. Or if we are doing that, we're doing it very well. Matt, you're saying during the Borough game, it looked like he was trying way too hard. Needs to settle down and show us what we have grown to know. Yeah, because he's looking at this. He's looking at this United team going, mate, what are you doing? That interview that he gave? I was like, preach to the choir, man. I'm not here. Trust me, I'm not here trying to point the finger at Ronaldo in the same way that I'm saying, look, don't try and be pointing the finger at Fergie for all the problems that's going on at Manchester United behind the scenes right now. I think it's a pointless conversation. I'm not here saying point the finger at Cristiano Ronaldo, saying you've got to be better. You're the guy scored more goals for us than any other player this year. All right? That's not the issue. It's just a Ronaldo who is the king of winning. The absolute king of winning is surrounded by people who don't have any idea how to win, who don't have that mentality. And he's struggling, man. He's definitely struggling there. Deliver to him properly, then the goals will come. Exactly that. But when you can see Ronaldo dropping deep, Ronaldo pressing, Ronaldo doing this, I'm like, I know you can do that, Cristiano, but you shouldn't need to. He shouldn't have to be. Obviously, when you're playing a pressing system, if you have one person who's not pressing, you leave a hole, and the press is kind of pointless. I do understand that. But when you have the greatest goal scorer of all time, I would argue, in your team, as your striker, you are damn right that you are going to do everything possible to get the ball to him as many times as possible in strong positions throughout the game. Now, against Middlesbrough, as I said, it was his finishing let him down. And that's not normally what you see from Cristiano Ronaldo. I did a tweet saying Ronaldo had a rare off night, and people were like, Sam, are you some sort of clown? Ronaldo having a rare off night. Ha! Because they're looking at the overall performance. And that's, as I said, a lot of similarities to what happened when we had Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Was a player that you would be frustrated with for like 80 minutes, and then he'd pop up with a winner, and you'd be like, well, he scored the winner. He scored the winner. What are you going to say? What are you going to say? Ronaldo's not going to put in like barnstorming 9 out of 10 performances every week. Jesus Christ, guys, he's 37. He's 37. One more time, he's 37. 37 is a decent age goalkeeper, let alone a striker who still is still probably fitter than 50% of our whole squad. And he's 37. That's what I mean. We need to have a conversation about Ronaldo, but I'm not here trying to point the finger at him, to blame him. It's, as I said, he's turned himself into the greatest goal hanger that the world's ever seen and scored more goals because of it. And now at Manchester United, he's not inside a team that dominates the ball. As was said in the comments earlier, if he was at Liverpool, if he was at City, he would be scoring so many more goals. It would be insane how many goals that he would be scoring in those teams. At United, he's got to drop deep to try and help with the build-up play and then run forward and try and get in the edge of the box, and then the ball's not coming into him. We're simply not good enough right now to get the most out of Ronaldo. That's how good he is. I would blame the football more than I would start blaming Ronaldo. That's my opinion anyway. Link up between the squad is bad. Mate, look, Scratchy, if you watch that game against Borough, man, that was great. You see the link up play between Pogba, Sancho, Bruno. Who else was it? Pogba, Sancho, Bruno. I don't care. Anyway, the link up play was excellent. It really, Rashford. Fantastic. I was like, wow, where's that been for? Like a lot of one-touch football. dinks, in and out. It was great. But Ronaldo, I don't know. Maybe I'll do that video today. I probably won't. I'm going to do the Burnley 11. Well, I'll be honest, none of you will really give a shit about that anymore because you're frustrated at everything that's going on right now. I know already that the video won't really do that well. Not that many people will watch it because you're so frustrated about what's going on. But it is what it is, eh? It's Middlesbrough, Sam. Lee Mike saying that's because of Borough. If it's another strong team, might be a different story. And Dean, you're staying chipper this morning. United are crap. Well, judging by that performance against Borough, I wouldn't disagree with you. Matt, what are you saying? The club see United as a small side to play against. Smaller clubs come in with such more confidence and have nothing to lose and run us around the park. And Matt, it's simply because, like, when it comes to playing teams in the Premier League, you obviously got your analysts that do all their work in a build up to a game. They look at, they watch the last 2-3 games, they analyze and they pick apart where the weaknesses are. And then all of a sudden they have a meeting with the manager and then the plans are created to play that team. Against United, it's the simplest thing in the world. You just need 10 minutes. You're like, just be committed. Honestly, if you go into that game and you give 100%, I guarantee you'll be first to that second ball. I guarantee you'll get opportunities because you simply work harder. And it's the fundamental basic of football. And you sound a bit silly, really, preaching it when we're talking about Premier League footballers, when it talks about Manchester United. But until that work ethic just becomes second nature to the point where you don't even have to have a conversation about it anymore, then it will be the talking point. No one really talks about Liverpool's work rate anymore, do they? Not at all. It's just how Liverpool play. It moves away from being a talking point to just being what they do. Without thinking, naturally, instinctively, that's how they play football. And no one talks about it anymore. And until that comes to Manchester United, then it will be one of the biggest talking points. That handball. Jeez. You know what? I've sort of forgotten about that handball. That handball, according to the rules, wasn't a handball. Wow. Not accidental. Wow. No, sorry, not on purpose. It was accidental. Unbelievable that wasn't given as a handball. Clear as day, the ball would have gone 10 yards the other way if his hand wasn't there to stop the ball. How in the world is that fair? It makes no time whatsoever. Larson, mate, Henrik Larsson, when we got him on loan, that was a cracking little signing. That was when we had the sponsored by AIG and had the white V on the collar. He scored a couple of goals. Lovely. Or you're saying it's a stupid rule. Absolutely. Cleo, you said, you guys are defending Ronaldo. He's the weak link in our squad. My friend, if you think Cristiano Ronaldo is the weak link inside this Manchester United squad, then I think you might need to look again. You were so pissed, says Peter. So was I. Well, I was actually sober that night, but I was definitely fuming. The ref did see it. VAR saw it. The ref saw it. But according to the rules, so the rule now is, the madness of it, the rule now is if he had scored, if he had handballed that ball and then scored from it, it would have been ruled out. But because he handballed it, then passed it to someone else, then it doesn't count. So if I was a footballer now, I'd just be using I'd permanently put my arm out there, give myself an extra limb that I could use. Weird. Very, very weird. Tell you what, I've been sort of ranting and raving this morning. I haven't even left the link to the studio in the comments. Look, at the end of every video now, every single morning, I give you the opportunity to come on screen and have a quick chat with me. Well, has to be quick because I've got to try and get through people. But if you want to ask me a question, there's the link there. If anybody wants to jump in, I will answer your questions. I'll tell you what, who else was good at the weekend, which I'm quite impressed by. James Garner against Leicester. Very, very impressive in midfield. Obviously, his corner led to their third goal, I think. Wow. James Garner delivering corners. Yes, please, if we can go and score from it. But I thought it was quite impressive, so I wanted to praise him, say well done to James. I think he's had a pretty damn good loan spell there, really, at Nottingham Forest. And for a lot of United fans, you'd be like, why can't we get James Garner back at the club? Maybe you're right in saying that, but I don't think we will. And yesterday, of course, you saw that Dennis Zakaria scored on his Juve debut. Nice little burst through. I was watching the highlights this morning. Decent finish from him. Good goal. I didn't really think that Zakaria was a goal-scoring midfielder. Lo and behold, he is. Who knew that? Brandon, you're saying, never in my life have I seen a decision like that. It's supposed to be the best league in the world. They can't even see it was a clear handball. Yeah, they saw it was a clear handball, but they said no. Nah, according to the rules, that's not true. So the rule is going to mess up football. As it's proved, yeah, it's going to be a terrible, terrible interpretation of the rule. And no doubt that'll get changed, all right? Okay? That will get changed at some point soon because it's ridiculous that that's the sort of the situation that it is in. Randomly, I'll speak about this too. We spoke about Andreas Pereira and the fact that Manchester United we turned down, I think, like a £6.7 million bid for him in January. So Flamengo now, they've agreed, according to reports coming out from Brazil, Manchester United have agreed a deal with Flamengo. It's going to rise potentially to 14 million euros for Andreas Pereira. And that is good negotiating. So if it was 6.7 million, I don't know whether that was just up front, whether that was over the course of XY at 3 years. I've sod knows. But it looks like Andreas Pereira is going to be leaving. And this summer really is going to be a proper time. If Manchester United can do as many loan spells as we can do in January, we should be able to get plenty. We should be able to get 14 million. I don't know how much up front, but a good bit of money for Andreas Pereira. Paul Pogba's leaving on a free. Jesse Lingard's leaving on a free. Juan Mata should be leaving the club. Nemanja Matic should be leaving the club. Phil Jones should be leaving the club. And that's just the ones off the top of my head. This is really the summer where our Deadwood, if you want to call it that, our squad gets shifted and a lot of players leave. And I definitely think that Andreas Pereira will be one of those. So 10 million more than he's worth, says Paul. I'll tell you what, 14 million euros. Thank you very much, Flamengo, if you want to throw that money towards us. Callum, if you're a defender, can you shout that your handball was accidental? Probably not. Yeah, I mean, I've done it. They kind of do tend to give a bit of benefit of the doubt, don't they, to attackers. But from what we saw there, it was such an obvious handball. But yeah, the fact that that's not really the big talking point goes to show how frustrated United fans really were at that game, eh? Takeoff, you completely forgotten about Andreas Pereira. Yeah, so did I. But if that can all of a sudden bring money in, then yes, plead. Paul, I wouldn't say this is a rebuild as such with Andreas Pereira, but this is a proper opportunity to just really, really genuinely trim that fat from the squad, because it's not really a rebuild. We've got the core of players that we have going forward, and there's just so many fringe players. It's about getting rid of the players around the edges, not a rebuild as such. You can probably say a rebuild when you're talking about how are we going to replace Paul Pogba. That would be more part of a central part of a rebuild. Then if you're looking at maybe Jesse Lingard, I would say you could probably argue Anthony Elanga coming through. Hannibal Mejbri could probably play out on the wings as well. I think you can probably replace from within with Jesse Lingard. But then Phil Jones, what are you going to do there? There's a lot of conversations to be had about a lot of players that will be happening this summer. Shane, you're saying it'll be good for the club to clean out the players brought in by 4 different managers. I think I said this before the game as well against Middlesbrough. If Ralf Rangnick, if he so wished, he could have started a front 3. No, was it 6 players? I think there's 6 players inside this Manchester United squad that were all here under Louis van Gaal 7 years ago, and they're still here. Unbelievable, really. The fact that that's what Manchester United are known as. We're a club that hoards players. Rarely do we sell a player with any true value, because we just let them stagnate at Manchester United for well past their sell-by date. And then by the time they do leave, they're just not worth as much at all. And that's kind of the issue that Manchester United have with selling players, for sure. If Pogba is gone, our midfield will be in shackles. Well, I don't know what's going to happen, but Pogba's not going to be here next season, as far as I'm concerned. So I think just move on. Move on now. We should start thinking about life without Pogba. That's what I think we should be doing. Brandon saying, who are we playing tomorrow? We're playing Burnley, my friend. The rearranged game that was cancelled because of COVID during December. Believe it's a 8:15 kickoff on a Tuesday evening. It's a bit mad, really. Final comment here from Ant, and we might wrap it up today. I'm just going to say it now. Clip me up. I don't care. Who we buy is irrelevant. We will not improve until the rest of the club is sorted out properly. You're not wrong there, my friend, and this is exactly what I've been saying, and it's why I will continue to push these conversations, and this will always be one of my main talking points that I keep doing. Yeah, the football club and the football on the pitch is symptomatic of the football club behind it. And that's why City are so slick, because everything runs like a really well-oiled machine. That's exactly what it is. And then you've got Liverpool. They've obviously still got their issues with their owners, but very slick as well. Arsenal, chaos, chaotic. Arsenal football, chaos, chaotic. They've massively struggled post-Wenger. I mean, they were struggling with Wenger anyway. And then United, we've just been in free fall since Fergie went. And yeah, until it is sorted behind the scenes, nothing will truly change. But that is why Ralf will always get my complete and utter support as a Manchester United fan. I don't care who he speaks about. I don't care what he says, if it's true. As long as Ralf keeps coming out and he's preaching the honesty and he keeps saying what he's he's the biggest chance we've got to change people. Yeah, I'm going to do another video later today, maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure what on. Matt, I can see you there waiting, my friend, but sorry, I'm going to wrap this one up now because I've actually got to go and do something. I apologize about that. But look, thank you very much for everyone for joining in this morning. Carl, you're saying, Sam, will the arms be open before the game tomorrow? Carl, I'm still sorting that out, but as I said before, I'll say it now. The arms, I will reopen the arms quite soon, and when it does reopen, it's going to be members only. I'm going to do it behind the scenes. It's going to be far more casual. I might try and do it in like a podcast format so that we can all talk at once, because unfortunately, the arms, what it was before, it was kind of hard to have more than one person talking at the same time. You couldn't really have a proper conversation. So I'll get that sorted soon. Don't worry about that, all right? Thank you very much for joining in this morning. As more of a, yeah, I don't know what you would call this show this morning, but I want everybody to really, truly think like I think. Ralf is the biggest chance we've got of change, man. And we should all be doing whatever we can possibly do to support him. All right. Thank you all very much for joining in. If you would, please drop a like on the video. It's the first time I've actually asked that this whole video. And subscribe if you're new. Until next time, though, take it easy.